Hey, what's up, guys? The final balance changes in Clash Royale are actually live now. They are always getting adjusted. It seems like Clash Royale is just like, hey, balance changes are a bit wild and weird. We're going to make some adjustments along the way. I wouldn't be surprised if Furnace gets a nerf soon. It's just beyond broken. But these are the changes that are in the game as of right now, and the ones that they've clarified as the final ones. Maybe they'll still make some small. But yeah, essentially, the towers are dead. Dagger, Duchess, and Cannoneer are just effectively not worth playing. If you are playing them, just going to get a bad time because the Princess Tower is simply superior. So I'd really recommend not playing them as much and playing this Princess Tower that, everyone has available. The next thing that they're going to be changing is, the Royal Chef. It's still okay if you're playing anyone running beatdown decks with like diabolical amount of all-ins. It's important to still play that. You're going to get overpowered cards that don't die as quickly, like having a level 16 or 17 P.E.K.K.A. or level 16 or 17 Goblin Giant still like matters a lot if you are able to get that. You don't really care about the Chef Tower as much on defense. It's more of a offensive all-in strategy. So these nerfs just make it slower to cook up the pancakes. Giant Snowball is really overpowered with Goblin Drill. So if you use Goblin Drill and you had a drill in front of the tower and then you evolve Snowball with it and you pulled your opponent's units off of the drill, they would actively have their units fall all the way back behind their tower, slow down, and then the drill would just take their tower. So now the drilling or the rolling duration is slowed a little bit. So, they said Giant Snowball often captures troops that were placed along the after it was landed. We're increasing the rolling speed, which reduces the duration that troops are captured inside the Giant Snowball. Basically, it's going to be easier for you to evade the Giant Snowball, and you're not going to get captured as much with your units when you're defending against drills. Way better. I mean, that card was unbelievably broken. This Skeleton Barrel Evolution nerf was pretty minuscule. It's 7%. It might seem like, oh, it's a big percentage, but the Skeleton Barrel death damage just did too much, so this basically did nothing. Miner wasn't a great card in my eyes, and I didn't really like playing it that much recently, so this nerf makes it even worse. They're saying that Miner is too efficient at taking troops to use to defend against him. So we're reducing his hit speed while retaining his ability to support pushes. I think it's awful. I think Miner's just a bad card right now. Rage is getting a little bit of a damage increase and a duration nerf. So basically, Rage's duration was making big pushes too difficult to defend. While we're reducing the duration, we're increasing its damage to maintain its viability as a spell while making it less frustrating. It's still frustrating AF, dude. Like, what are they doing here? What are they doing? They think this is like not frustrating, and you just pair it with Curse and you take towers. It's absolutely awful. All right, so Spear Goblins. This is a bigger change. If you guys are watching my last video, essentially what it was is they had 5.5 tiles, and they're changing it to 5 tiles. And they're also reducing the hit speed that they had. So they had the hit speed at 0.2 seconds plus. Now it's going to be only 1 second, 0.1 seconds. So it used to be a much bigger first hit speed nerf. It was like 50%. Now they're doing 25%. So the Spear Goblins are not nerfed as hard as they were in the work in progress balance changes. So that's why I'm covering this a second time. There are bigger changes like that. Spear Goblins were completely unusable in the practice server, I guess. So they decided to make them a little bit better than that. They're now no longer going to get a hit on crown towers when they're at low hit points. So if you're playing a Princess Tower and they have a Spear Goblin, the Spear Goblin will not get that shot. Against Cannoneer, the Cannoneer always killed the Spear Goblin, but the Princess Tower and the Dagger Duchess let a Spear Goblin lock on the tower, and it was really frustrating. So shout out to Supercell for doing that. That was good. Thank God they nerfed Firecracker. We all hate Firecracker so much. So they also did nerf the death damage from the Evo Skeleton Barrel more than they did originally. The original nerf, the Evo Skeleton Barrel, was like very small, and then they nerfed it even harder to 7%. So it does make a bit of a difference, but it's still not that big of a deal. All right, the next one is Firecracker. Firecracker's sight range is going to be decreased from 8.5 to 8 tiles, so she's just like not going to be able to see things as often, so she's less likely to get damage on things. And then her knockback is going to move from 1.5 tiles to 1 tile. That's really good because now she's not going to be able to evade as much. A 33% nerf to her knockback means that she is not going to be moving out of the way and being obnoxious as much. So Firecracker's unique mechanics made her movements difficult to predict, and she was used to survive for too long per deployment. We're toning down her self knockback and while reducing her sight range to match. So yeah, this card is just a lot worse now, so that's good. I mean, it's still going to be annoying, but it's not going to be as obnoxious. They buffed the Spirit Empress a lot, and I think that this is kind of how they do things when things are bad and they're, new cards, they want them to be used so they can make money. That's just how things are. When you're running a business, you want new things to be good, right? Imagine a car dealership rolling out a car model and then the car model just like flopping, right? Like you do everything you could to make that thing more appealing. So they're doing a Spirit Empress buff for the range from 4.5 to 5 tiles. And then we are also getting the hit points buff, so her health will also be increased 5%. So that's really substantial. She's kind of trash right now. She does work in Elixir Golem decks, and maybe in matchups where the opponent doesn't have an anti-air response, there's this floating stupid dragon thing that does a lot of damage. Very difficult to deal with if you don't have the right anti-air responses. Like if you don't have a Dark Goblin to snipe, or if you don't have like, I don't know, something like a Musketeer or an Archer Queen, this thing is one of the most obnoxious cards in the game. So it's going to be more frustrating for sure. Also, John Dabney, thank you for the $20. Damn, dude. Really appreciate the support. Lots of love. Guys, get some love for Mr. John Dabney. I was going to say get some dabs, but we're not going to do that. That is in the past. Appreciate you, John. All right, so we are also getting a hit point buff just universally across the board, 5%. The value of the Spirit Empress dual card mechanic hasn't landed the way we wanted it to, so we're improving her range. So sure, her range is going to be a little bit longer on her, obviously air form, and giving her both forms of hit point boost to increase the survivability against other troops. I think it's a good buff for the ground one. I think the ground one was kind of bad. I think the air one was like obnoxious already, so I don't know. Phoenix was not used very much, but now they are reducing the crown tower death damage. So if you guys notice, like when a Sparky hits a tower, it's not the full blast of like, when the monk reflects a Sparky shot and then that reflection hits the tower, it doesn't do the full Sparky damage. The same thing for the Phoenix. The Phoenix does not do full, or did not do full damage to the tower when it exploded near the tower. Now it's going to do 70%, moving to 0%. So literally 0% of that is going to be nullified. That's going to be annoying if the Phoenix explodes near the tower. It doesn't happen that often, and it does resurrect in the face of a Dagger Duchess if the Dagger Duchess is out of ammo. That's a fun fact, or not so fun fact in case you're playing against it. Phoenix will be better. Not going to be like moving the needle too much on the card. Like I think it's just like a small slight buff. Anyway, Golem getting a huge buff. 74% extra damage for the Golemite damage. Essentially like Elixir Golem just did a lot with the second form, and now the Golem is going to do a lot too. Sexy the haircut? Yeah, dude. Thanks for being here, bro. And thanks for noticing that. Appreciate you, man. I'm always thankful that I can get haircuts because, dude, when the hair flops on my face and under my eyes and stuff like that, bro, it's awful. I was playing pickleball and I was like, I have to wear glasses so then the hair doesn't go on my face. Anyway, yeah, Golem's going to be a lot better. Essentially, players are currently able to completely ignore Golemites due to their very low damage, so we're increasing their damage to make them more threatening. Essentially, just giving it the Elixir Golem treatment. I can't wait to play Golem right now with you guys. Zappies are going to get so much better. 27% hit speed with the buff for the first hit. So they're not getting enough value before getting destroyed, so we're increasing. The main things that I want to test are the Golem, the Zappies, and the minions. So minions as well. It's going to be really hard to play minions right now in the furnace-infested meta, but yeah, that is a huge buff. The fact that their range was increased. So by the way, they do throw like mini projectiles. That's why they died to Monk. So they are ranged. They are definitely something that people don't necessarily understand as a range card a little bit, but they do fire from quite a distance. Minions and Minion Horde are 2 weak against splash damage cards. Well, good thing you added the Furnace. It isn't very clear to players that they attacked with projectiles. We're increasing their range to make them more effective against enemy ranged troops and help them find a place in the meta again. Minions are going to be good. Minions are going to be phenomenal, actually, as soon as Furnace gets a nerf, which needs to happen like yesterday. So the heal from other skeletons is going to get decreased from 56 to 0, and they're going to be buffing the heal for the Witch's own skeleton. So no more graveyard stuff. So you don't have to have her synergistic with other skeletons decks. The original design of the Witch evolution was to heal from nearby skeletons, allowing her to shine in specific decks. They wanted this stupid like skeleton synergy deck combos, and it was so bad. However, she proved too difficult to deal with when combined with multiple skeleton cards. Basically, the dum-dums that put in a graveyard with a witch and all in, it was impossible to defend. Like, the freaking skeletons from the graveyard would heal with the witch. It was the worst thing in the game. So now you don't have to run graveyard plus witch. I mean, sure, people are still going to be playing that, but you don't need that. So I can't wait for all the giant graveyard players that are illiterate to not be able to read this. And then they don't understand that, oh, wait, my giant graveyard is not healing my witch. It's going to be so funny because I guarantee you some of the people will literally not know that this even exists. They will actively play for like a month and they'll be like, oh, that's why my witch keeps dying. Like, I don't tell the giant graveyard players. So can we just have a petition in the chat or on this channel to never tell the Giant Graveyard players? Anyway, that is funny, and that is good for the game. Anyway, Dark Goblin and the evolution, it is going to get a huge nerf from the 4-second duration where you could run Dark Goblin evolution with no building and win all of your games. You could literally run Dark Goblin evolution and it would kill a golem push. And it would die to arrows and it would still kill the golem push because the poison stayed alive forever. Good job, Supercell. That was ridiculous that you had that in the game for so long. Thank God they nerfed that. So, yeah, that change is really substantial. Dark Goblin evolution is way worse. Dark Goblin has been showing up a bit too often. Yeah, no, that's understatement. There was Dark Goblin cycle decks with nothing else besides Dark Goblin and Boss Bandit and cycle 1-cost cards. Like, come on, that was oppressive for sure. To make it less oppressive against heavier decks, reducing his hit speed and duration of the evolution Poison Dark Cloud, while still giving slightly increased damage to compensate. So the damage is better, but like obviously if it is not firing as fast and it's not having that stupid poison thing for as long, then it's not going to be near as good. I think it might not even be that good at all worth a spot in your deck. I highly doubt it's going to be that good anymore because a lot of the decks that were using Dark Goblin, I mean, maybe like a unevolved version with Dark Goblin in a Royal Recruits deck could work. I think that's still fine. You can still out-snipe like Archer Queens and Cannon Carts and use it off on the side, but probably not going to be as good. So Archer's evolution, Archers have been completely overshadowed by their evolution. So to narrow the gap between the two forms, we're toning down the power shots damage while reducing the minimum damage required to activate it, making it easier to trigger but less punishing. Yeah, I think that usually what they do is they like have this weird sequence where they buff a card and then they nerf the evolution, or nerf the evolution and then buff the card, and then like those two things make the evolution strong, and then because the evolution's strong, then everyone's just using the evolved version, even though the regular version was semi-playable in like Expo decks. It's just weird. Like the evolution archers just hit so hard that you would always play them in Archer's Expo cycle, and it's just like whatever evolution is the strongest, people are going to play. So it's not like archers wouldn't be played in certain decks. They would still be played a little bit. Just that Archer's evolution was really unfair, the amount of damage that it did. I played in Royal Recruits decks all the time. It's just literally one games because one archer would lock on a tower. So the power shot damage is going to get decreased 21%, so it's not going to do as much stupid damage when it's maximum distance. And then the power shot range will also be decreased, so it's easier to get that range. So it's easier to get the power shot because, you know, like you can be closer now to get that 168 damage, which isn't as much as it was before. And then the overall damage is going to be increased from 107 to 112. So that is a bit of a bigger change, making archers a more compelling choice for more people. And maybe people are going to start running that instead. Anyway, Goblin Hut. That is the last one. Oh, man, I just wanted them to throw a furnace on there, to be honest. Goblin Hut is going to get a deploy delay of 1 second to 0.5 seconds and a spawn speed increase from 1.8 to 1.9. So it is going to have a little bit more of a delay of Spear Goblins to make the building form more reactive during high pressure situations. Since we're happy with the Goblin Hut's overall strength, we're slowing its spawning speed to keep its power level roughly the same. Yeah, no, that's silly. I mean, it's really overpowered. This rework, I don't know. I think it needed a nerf, but they just kind of gave it a rework, which, yeah, sure, whatever. Anyway, let's test out the new cards and see what we think. I definitely want to see what we can do here. I am going to go and grab some of the decks that I had in my ranked profiles, and we'll see what we can do. Let's go, baby. So there's a lot of different decks that we could play. I definitely do want to be testing this out because, I mean, Golem got a buff, so might as well see how that goes. I do think that if we're playing this remotely well right now, we will see a pretty big difference in the Golem. So let's run it. Also, we could run Dark Goblin here and then see just regular Dark Goblin and how big of a difference that feels. But I don't know. Let's just test the Golem first and then go minions and just do it all. Do everything we can. Just asking, you said that the Dark Goblin, Boss Bandit, Small, Cycle decks was super overpowered. Why would you not feature those? I will play those. I'll play them right now today. I'll play that right now. It got a huge nerf, though. The Dark Goblin made that overpowered, like extremely overpowered. We'll see how it goes now because Cannoneer got a nerf. You can't really rely on Cannoneer as much. The problem is, if the core functionality of the defensive part of the deck is nerfed, it's not going to be near as good. So because of that, it just made the deck less viable for sure. Also, almost every deck that I'll be playing will be either running a Chef Tower or it will probably be running Princess Tower. Those are the two that I like to use. I'm not going to be doing like Golems and Single Elixir very often. I think that's kind of silly, but we did it here just for the hell of it. I'm going to get a Goblin, and we'll see if we can tank maybe for a Zap here, so then the Goblin gets targeted instead of the Night Witch, so we can spawn some more Bats. Looking decent. The Golemites Don't really do that much damage by themselves. It's like not super noticeable, but it means that it's more of a serviceable card on offense. It's still like not game defining in certain situations, but if it's a close match, I could definitely see it turning the tide of the battle because it is such a big difference from a stats department. I'm sure that there will be interactions where, you know, you get like an extra 200, 300 damage and then you fireball cycle and like win. Anyway, the difficulty right now to talk about balance changes is Furnace is the best card in the game, and it is by far the best card in the game, and it's not even close. So if you are playing Clash Royale correctly, you will identify that Furnace is just a little bit silly. I might want a Fireball on that, and it will die. I can maybe go in for a Fireball and then hit a Hog Rider and that ideally. We'll see how it goes. I can also go Goblin Curse and then Zap. That's not bad because we should be able to get a Goblin on the Fire Spirit, and then we'll have the Skeleton King still counter pushing. We have Evolved Inferno Dragon too, so we get okay. He'll probably drop a spell here. I mean, he's going to have to go for an Evolved Cannon. Not really a great trade for him. Especially if he Hog Riders into an Inferno Dragon evolution. I don't really want to cycle that, though. I kind of want to go in for a Furnace and a Night Witch. See if I'll be able to get away with it. Furnace Night Witch would make me happier. Because then I might be able to get a Golem in front of that still. Alright, yeah, no, we're going to go Night Witch. And then we're going to go Golem. And then we're going to let the Furnace just do its thing. I don't really care too much about it. And despite this guy having Mighty Miner, I think he's probably going to get cooked. We'll see. Alright, yeah, no, definitely an Inferno Dragon into that. A little bit sad that that happens, but it is what it is. We could go Skeleton King as well in front of that, so then the Fire Spirits don't clobber me, and the Inferno Dragon's able to ideally ramp up over time. And then we can go for an Evolved Furnace at the bridge. We still have a Skeleton King tanking, which is huge. And the Inferno Dragon probably locks tower here. I don't want to go for a Zap. I want the Inferno Dragon to stay alive and just watch it torch everything. So this game should be ours. He's going to poison, but then he has to deal with the Night Witch and then the Furnaces. This is kind of a silly deck. This did have Evolved Lumberjack instead of the Furnace, but because Furnace is so good, we decided to put it in the deck. Very good deck. I can't recommend this thing enough. I don't think it's very fair. So if you're playing this with a remote shred of intelligence, you will probably win a lot of your matches. If you're unaware, you can do a lot of cool things like Skeleton King plus Night Witch push at the start. And then if you have this, if they drop bait cards, they kind of just lose the match. If you have Fireball, you can kill Electro Dragons with the Goblin Curse, I believe. There's a lot of different interactions that you can do with this deck. A lot of times, I don't really like going Golem and Single Elixir too often, but I do like dropping a Night Witch plus a Skeleton King and then spells because there's not much punishing. Okay, let's see how the Miner does here. It's probably going to get like slightly less damage or something like that. It's not going to make that big of a difference, but it's probably going to be worse when it tries to snipe things like a Princess or something like that. Anyway, let's see what we can do. Ghost, I don't think it'll work. It's fine, man. I'm going to go Golem right now because I feel kind of comfortable if I can Inferno Dragon on this. Oh, that Golem placement was not ideal. He's going to get a Magic Archer on my tower for sure, right? That does hit. Kind of sucks, honestly. Not going to lie, that was very bad. We're still going to get the Inferno Dragon, and we do have the ability to play pretty aggressive here with a Goblin Curse, potentially. See how it goes. Definitely want to go for a Skeleton King and keep up the aggression. And maybe the Golemites will put in a lot of work. We could Zap to retarget things. Then it retargets onto the tower. But, yeah, I think I do that. And then I just maybe get some extra damage with the Inferno Dragon locking on. I'm going to pop the ability, too, because I want the Skeleton King to potentially keep our Furnace a bit healthier so we can spawn more Fire Spirits. Not going to take the tower, so it's not really great gameplay on my end. I definitely messed it up. We'll see if we can still take a W. Do you think a clone deck would be OP with Furnace spam deck? I'd love to see you try that out for a game. I don't know. I mean, it could be fun to use clone with Furnace just for the hell of it. I'm sorry if I'm watching behind, but a hairband is your best friend and hair gets in your way in your face. Yeah, I should have gotten hairband, but it is what it is, man. I'm just not going to let my hair get that long again, all right? That's the real strategy, is just like not let that happen again. Also, Furnace is so good, man. It's so silly how strong this card is. So it doesn't matter that much to me that we're in a bit of a predicament, but I wonder if I can just Fireball the Magic Archer and then keep the Night Witch bats alive and then get some of those closer to the tower because the Golem is tanking. So then the bats he thought would get targeted by the Magic Archer, but since I got him in a spot where he wasn't able to do that, it definitely was a lot worse for him. The Magic Archer just straight up died there. If we had Evolve Zap with Goblin Curse, that'd be huge. Oh, wait, cool. We can just do this, and that should kill everything. That should kill the Wall Breakers. And I have the Evolved Furnace here, too. I don't want to drop it, but I know it's not the right play. I'm going to go Golem in the back and just bide my time a little bit more. I could pop the ability here and then go Goblin Curse and then Fireball, but that also doesn't seem like the best decision in my life. Instead, I'm just going to go Furnace. I'm going to start spawning some Fire Spirits and pooping them out. This little laxative lad is going to be manifesting the most Spear Goblins you guys, or I guess the Fire Spirits you've ever seen. Oh my god. There's no way he just dropped that right next to each other. I mean, I guess sometimes people do that, but that is a generational fumble. We have double evolutions in the house. This should be a game This should be a W. This should be the fattest, thickest win you guys have ever seen. We're going to go Goblin Curse and a Zap here for the memes. I'm surprised that people are not running as many distraction cards as we are used to seeing. But man, this is a very diabolical deck. I think this might be one of the better decks in Clash. The old one looks better. The old one for my haircut, or the old whatever. Fresh trim lad, looking good. Thanks, man. Yeah, no, I think that I look better with a haircut like this. That's a little bit longer, but I don't really want to get haircuts all the time, to be honest. Haircuts are expensive, man. I'd rather just get a haircut every month or 2 or 3 and then let it be. Some of my friends will get haircuts every 2 weeks. I'm like, bro, you're burning a hole in your wallet, and it takes time to go and get the haircut too. Mad expensive. This is the most trash cards left to rework shine. I mean, also, I do tip 25 to 20% on my haircut too, so yeah. I guess it's more expensive when I do that. Where do you get your haircut? Somewhere in Seattle. Somewhere in Seattle. We can go for a Zap here, or maybe go for a Skeleton King. I think I'm in a good spot. No, we're chilling. We're chilling. I'm the same with haircuts. Yeah, it just takes so much time. Anyway, I want to go for a Fireball if he's going to go for an Electro Wizard or something, but I just don't trust these guys. You should probably E-Wiz me. There it is. Yeah, let's definitely Fireball that. Goblin Curse might have been better, to be honest. I just want to guarantee that we kill the Electro Wizard. I just don't want to deal with that. Going Golem and Single Elixir is a surefire way of losing. For real? Yeah, no, that's how it is. Great to see you. Love the new haircut. Hopefully you're having a great week. I am having a great week, man. I am so thankful to have the community that we have here. The people that are watching. You guys make it all possible. Seriously, thank you guys for being here. I also don't know how to feel about Furnace right now. I think it's really good with pretty much everything. Is it good with Mortar? Yeah, of course it's good with Mortar. I mean, if you're not playing Furnace, I don't think you're playing the game correctly, to be honest. Just for real, man. We zap this, we kill his Furnace, and then we keep our Furnace alive, and then I go in for a Skeleton King with my Furnace. Oh, baby! Look at these plays! Like, I genuinely do think the strategy is so good. It's so sad that this is a gameplay decision that I can do and just get away with it. Like, I feel like I'm getting away with murder right now. Isn't this insane? Like, his packet is just going to die to another Furnace. Oh, that's wild work. Yeah, no Furnace here. No, Night Witch on the other side. I'm fine. Hey, can you rate my deck? Evo Furnace, Evo P.E.K.K.A, Boss Bandit, Wizard, Battle Ram, Log, Berserker. Let me know. Yeah, I got you, man. So, the number one thing that I would change in your deck is I don't really see a win condition. Like, I see Boss Bandit, P.E.K.K.A, and Furnace. Oh, no, you have Battle Ram. Log Zap. Honestly, if you're running Log Zap, you probably want, like, here's a cool tip for a lot of people. If you didn't know, Goblin Curse is kind of OP. It lets a lot of crazy things happen. So, if you go for Evolve Zap with Goblin Curse, it lets you kill an entire Barbarian. Like, Barbarians are dead. Evolve Zap plus Goblin Curse if you Goblin Curse first. Kills Barbarians. Believe it or not, that's how the game works. So, I would probably not run Log Zap. I would probably try to switch that up and maybe play something of the sort with either Goblin Curse or Lightning or a big spell that is generally just going to be a better experience for you. I would recommend that a lot more. Just want to be completely candid. A lot of times people don't necessarily know those types of interactions, and I just want to let you know, bro. Want to have you have a better experience, you know? Also, we definitely win this one. There's guy is cooked. We're going to go Goblin Curse and turn his Electro Wizard against him. Then we have Goblins, and then we have Skeletons, and then we have another Furnace here because I'm a Mimi Mad Lad like that. Also, we could go Fireball Zap to kill that, I think. Nice. You got to eat the Furnace on the other side and then go Skeleton King. And then go Night Witch so I don't lose the game. Because the Furnace isn't going to kill me. It just doesn't do enough damage by itself. Not even close, honestly. I think I can just, like, spell cycle this man at this point. It'd be very difficult for him to defend this effectively. Like, if he drops anything nearby, I'm just going to Fireball and then go, yeah, I'm just going to Fireball now. I win. It's kind of a silly tactic that this game is played at that level. Even though this guy has, like, a P.E.K.K.A, it doesn't do much against my deck. You have no power here, P.E.K.K.A. Oh man, we're getting a lot of donations, but I can try your deck a killer towards the end, maybe, if I have some more time. But the main thing that I would do, I think I'll just rate it for now, is I would substitute out the Log or the Zap for a bigger spell. Probably like a Lightning, so you can break through more reliably, or a Fireball. I would probably swap out the Log, because a lot of times you want to have Zap to remove bats. You have Furnace, so you might not need that. I also don't like Wizard. I think Wizard is a very bad card. Like, by itself, Wizard is just bad. If it's evolved, it's fine. Evolve Furnace, Evolve P.E.K.K.A. makes sense. I would probably put in maybe like a Royale Ghost in there, so you have the splash damage instead of the Zapper or the Log, and you have more pressure. I would like that, and I'd probably put in a Lightning or a Fireball instead of the Log. I think the Wizard and the Log need to be switched out and swapped out. All right, yeah, we'll play some other decks real quick. I'd say your deck is probably like a 7 out of 10, but it could definitely get up to an 8 or a 9. I think Furnace is really overpowered, so it does carry quite a bit. All right, so we can play this without Furnace and just test it out and see how bad... What is it? Do we play it with Cannoneer just to see how bad it feels? Just to experience how awful it is? It's not going to be good. I can tell you that much. Clash Royale is getting popular again than ever before. It's definitely going to get in the devs' heads. They're already acting like they're top of the world before. Now it's even going to get worse. I don't know. I mean, I think that the devs have actually increased their team and they've done better. And honestly, like, certain parts of before were really bad. Like, we would have conversations with them. We would tell them, hey, you should probably do this. And they were asking for our feedback. And then they just go completely against our feedback. Like, why ask if you're just not going to do what we ask? Or, like, what we, like, they got into a room of, like, 15 people. 15 people told them, do not release level 15. They did it. And it's just, I don't know. This is why I even ask if every single person tells you don't do it and then you do it anyway. Anyway, yeah, that was before. That was a while back. Those are different people, though. It's not the same devs. It's not the same people. So we'll see what happens and if things change. I mean, different people in charge, different people working on those things definitely makes a big difference. So we're going to go in for wall breakers here. He actually missed one of the wall breakers. That was sick, keeping the Dark Goblin alive. So I don't like Cannoneer right now. I think Cannoneer feels just like absurdly weak. Just from my interactions with it, playing with it a little bit, doesn't seem great. Skeleton King is still overpowered. Skeleton Bro is still overpowered. Dark Goblin does feel a little bit weirder. It does do a lot of damage, but man, it attacks like in slow motion now. I don't think it makes that much of a difference if you're not running the evolved version, but if you're running the evolved one, it just doesn't feel good at all. So I would recommend, if you wanted to, you can't really play this deck because you need Cannoneer to be good. What did just happen to his... What the... Did you guys see that Executioner? I don't understand what that thing was thinking. Maybe it wasn't. It's just like, it was goofy. You try for one game? Yeah, I can try for one game for you, man. Thanks again for the 20. I don't plan on testing out people's decks today. I actually don't really want to. I wanted to like go over the balance changes and stuff, but I will test out your deck probably at the very end. Yeah, I'll test it out right before I leave. I have like 17 more minutes before I got to go to pickleball, but I didn't want to get a stream in before I did. All right, so we're going to go in for a log here and drop Spear Goblins. That should full counter the Hog Rider with no damage, which is pretty good. I'm going to go for Wall Breakers other side. We can also do some other stuff, but most certainly, like, we are going to get good interactions here, and I can't stress about it at all, you know? If we're able to kill a lot of this Executioner and then get the Skeletons near the tower, that's a vibe, because that will take it out. And then, obviously, if we cycle Dark Goblin in the back, we're still able to make things happen. Even though I won this game, the deck just feels weaker, to be honest. We'll see how it does against the P.E.K.K.A. This will be kind of cool to see. Can I defend a P.E.K.K.A. easily, or is it going to be struggle? Because the Cannoneer before used to do so well here. It just doesn't feel as good. It really just doesn't feel as good, guys. I'll go through the nerf on it as well, in case you guys are unaware. But the exact nerf, we'll take a look right at the end of this game and show you guys the difference. Cannoneer and Dagger Duchess especially feels awful. I think that both of those towers are just dead. Completely. All right. Do you talk to your barber, or do you face your deafening silent barber as in seat silence? I talk to my barber. I actually like him quite a bit. Otherwise, I would be tipping 25%. All right, so yeah, this guy, Dagger Duchess, is going to have the hit speed decrease like 11%, and then the Cannoneer has a 17% damage decrease. That is so bad. That is so freaking bad. Cannoneer is just awful now. And they said again, like, Tower Troops have been the driving force of many of the decks dominating high ladder. To combat this, we're aiming to reduce how oppressive they can be in certain matchups. Like, they don't want to see decks that have Dagger Duchess all landing all the time. They don't want to see decks that have Cannoneer that allow you to just, like, play this. This still works for people that enjoy it, but I would really not recommend it. And I think that you kind of need a cannon and then play Princess Tower. So if I were to change this, what I would do is I would do something like this maybe. I would probably take out the Fire Spirit. And then I would go like Princess Tower. And then you still have the Ice Spirit for defense. And then you still have the offense. You can play a game with this just to show. and see the difference. But I don't think the other one works very well anymore. That's just my preference. That's just how I feel the game is played now, based off of the changes. Also, that voice crack was spicy. I don't know if you guys heard that on now. Anyway, he's going to go for a bad trade. That's 2 elixir, so I'll just take my positive elixir trade. So he's spending 7 elixir. Oh my gosh, this is amazing for me. Does he lose the entire firecracker? That's insane. Yeah, firecracker just felt like it was worse. I don't know. I feel like firecracker typically wouldn't die there, but his firecracker did. I'm going to go wall breakers the other side, force out another Tesla. So unfortunately with this wall breakers, I don't necessarily love it because I think I have to respond to this Valkyrie, and I typically wouldn't. I'd be able to go wall breakers and pull the Valkyrie back, but it doesn't matter that much. He's going to go for a Tesla for sure right here. It's going to be a negative trait. Oh, wait. What is he? Okay. Tesla analog is crazy work because that's 6 elixir and I spent 5. And I also dropped those spear goblins in countering his Valkyrie. So, I mean, we got value on top of that. So we got a positive elixir trade, and we also countered something with it. So we got even more of a positive elixir trade than it might have seemed. I'm going to go Ice Spirit at the bridge. Usually Fire Spirit would do pretty well here, but because I have Cannon, I can't really do that. The good thing about Cannon is the ability to just reactively drop it here and be okay. Might be able to even push the Hog Rider. If he has Hog, we should be able to just like push it or something. It would be kind of fun. I think that the Firecracker does end up killing that, but it also ends up dying at the same time. We're going to chuck a Skeleton Barrel and a Skeleton King here. And if he Hog Riders, we're already back to a Cannon. He should Hog Rider on the right side. He might just be dead, though. I think he's just dead. Honestly, I think he's just dead. If we can get a Skeleton King ability, he should lose the game. Because it will tank for the Dark Goblin, and that's going to be 2,000 HP on his tower. So this deck still works, obviously, if you want to play it. I would really recommend this version of the strat. I just made it on the spot, but I feel like it seems a lot better. Unfortunately, Cannoneer was really good against a Lava Hound deck. So I do think that the main difference that I've seen is you'll probably lose to Lava Hound, like very frequently. With the Cannon in the deck, I think that Lava Hound is like a way worse matchup. And without Cannoneer to damage down Lava Hounds, you're just going to have a horrible time in those types of matchups. So I'm going to go for a Cannon here. And then I'm going to go Dark Goblin. And we should be good, even if he goes that. Not that big of a deal. I can log and disrupt the Hog Rider and also kill the Firecracker. And then also go for Skeleton Barrel Wall Breakers. Again, this deck is a little bit better than the other version because you're not forced to run the Evolved Dark Goblin. It just seems like more of a dead card. Obviously, if you know one thing about Clash Royale is they do add overpowered evolutions into the game pretty frequently. And there's a lot of bait cards in Clash Royale. So there's no shortage of new bait cards that will be popping up into the game. I can almost guarantee you they'll add an Evolved Goblin Gang, Evolved Goblins, Evolved Spear Goblins, silly stuff like that. I think that they're going to be less likely to want to do it, though. Reason is, if they added the Goblin Arena, they're a little bit traumatized by that. If you add an update into the game and everyone hates it, like the Goblin Queen Arena, that thing was despised by 90% of the community. If everyone in the community is like, that sucked, then Supercell might just be like, wait, we don't want to add as many Goblin things into the game. Kind of funny, though. It is kind of funny. All right, so we won a whole bunch of games with that. Let's test out your deck really quick because I did say I was going to do it, so I want to make sure I'm able to do it before I leave. So you said Evo Furnace, Evo P.E.K.K.A. Again, I don't really like your strategy of running Zap Log with Battle Ram. Wait, am I going fast or ahead? I think we're going fast out here. We also had Berserker. Wait, I'm not even like having to look at it. We're making moves. I feel like my memory's on point today, which is not normal. It is not normal for me. I usually mess up and forget where the cards are. Went a lot quicker. All right, I think this is basically the deck. We're missing one card, which would be Boss Bandit, right? For the Skeleton King, if I remember correctly. And that is here. All right, so here's your deck. I would, again, recommend running Fireball or Lightning instead of the double spells. And then also replace the Wizard because it's just a garbage card. So, with your deck, because Furnace is overpowered, I will probably be cycling that as much as I can because this quality of card sucks. I don't really want to be playing it. Berserker is probably just a defensive card. It's not necessarily going to be played aggressively at all. The Rocket's interesting. He spent a lot more elixir than me, so I'm in a good spot to go in. I'm going to go Battle Ram here. I do have Log Zap, so I do like this for us. If he's going to have Goblin Gang, I will zap it. Yeah, that was obvious. I just knew he would do that because that seems like it's a regular Log Bait deck. And if he's down elixir, he's kind of cooked. If he goes Knight, then I go other side with Boss Bandit, and I take his tower. Princess is also funny because it's just going to get killed. And now he's going to Knight, and he doesn't have Goblin Gang, so I'll pop the ability. If he goes Ice Spirit and then he Knights, it's even better for us. He's just going to take a ton of damage. I'm just going to let this go. I'm not popping the ability because then he'll drop a Knight or something and block it. Okay. I'm going to pop the ability and go backwards. I might be able to kill the entire Knight. I actually don't know. It'd be kind of cool if that was the case. If I pop the ability again, I think I would have killed the knight, and then I would have dashed onto the tower, but it's fine. Pretty free log value here. So this matchup is definitely, like, probably honestly in his favor if he plays this correctly, because it's going to be difficult for me to get good trades. The thing is, I think that if he, like, used Inferno Tower and used it correctly, he would probably cook. But dude is definitely not going to. He's going to fumble quite a bit. So we're able to one-shot Spear Goblins, which I honestly don't think that the Furnace should do. It feels like it should just be like a moving spawner, kind of like Rune Giant. I don't know how they messed it up this much. I think that it shouldn't deal damage, or if it does, it should be tickling things. Let me know, guys. Let me know what you think on that end. So I am just going to let that go. It doesn't really matter to me. Using Wizard at all in a situation where it's not evolved just feels criminal. It actually just straight up feels criminal. So it was like, I don't like Wizard as a card unless it's evolved ever. It just isn't a good quality card. You're going to get bad elixir trades from it. And it's kind of against my religion to get bad elixir trades. All right, man? So we'll see what we can do. Obviously, he is not able to do too much to me here. I like Battle Ram Evolution as well. I kind of prefer Ram Rider if they're not evolved. So I'm going to go Boss Bandit in the back. Maybe he's going to be bad and rocket it. It would be kind of funny. I can also go in for a Furnace, but I probably want to go in for a Battle Ram and push that off. Weird as that sounds. And I can go Berserker here. I quite like this positioning for us because it's a lot of stuff going at him, and he's definitely going to be too confused on knowing what to do. So I'm going to go Boss Bandit, keep it alive a little bit longer, and then heck, I can peck at the bridge. I can log on the Princess just to kill it, keep our Furnace healthy, and then zap on top of the Inferno Tower. Ideally, we would get more of a positive elixir trade with this Furnace, but as I said before, I do think this matchup is pretty bad for us. I think I was fast enough. No, I wasn't. Feels bad, man. I was too slow. I was too slow of a sir. Alright, we're going to do this and do dual lane pressure and see how it goes. That's a rocket and a half, and he missed it, so that's even better. We'll zap here. Should probably get a lot of damage with that Barbarian and the Furnace, but I don't know. I think we do probably win with the Boss Bandit on the right side, so he lost on both sides. Didn't really matter. GG! So, again, I don't think your deck is very good, to be honest. It's like a 7, or I'd actually probably downgrade it to a 6.5 or a 6 out of 10. I do really appreciate the $20, but if I were to make this a lot better, your deck just can't have those cards, man. It literally just can't. I would probably do something along the lines like this. We're going to go, and then higher quality cards are always preferred, like every single time, bro. If you're able to, you're going to want to pick cards that just give you better trades. And then I think we put in a Fireball somewhere for us. Oh, yeah, instead of the... maybe Fireball, maybe Lightning. You can experiment with it. I personally would prefer Lightning because it does kill the Furnace. So it's just like a good trade right now. And Logbait could be a problem for you if you are scared of that. You could put an Electric Spear instead of Berserker. You could put in Bandit in there as well. Like, I would honestly... like, I don't know. I don't even know if I like Boss Bandit anymore in that deck. But yeah, I would experiment with something like this. Probably this, and then you have another small spell. And your deck would be a lot better. So... yeah, let me know how this goes for you. It would probably be a stronger strategy. It would be a faster, it would be a more expensive cycle, but it would be more reliable. And having this Barbaro allows you to beat Logbait decks. And it allows you another bit of a distraction. The only downside is your anti-air defenses will really just be Ram Rider plus Furnace. So it might be difficult against Balloon decks. But if you go opposite lane, maybe you can do things. That's just going to be tough. I don't really like your deck as is, so you got to make some adjustments. Maybe you could put Zappies in as well instead of the Boss Bandit if you wanted. You have more of a defensive version of the deck. Heck, we could play that and just test it because we were going to test out Zappies and see how they feel. So yeah, let's play your deck with this and just see how it goes, because this is Fireball bait, right? Maybe this slaps. I don't know. Let's test it. I'm in the mood for testing right now and kind of want to see how it will go. I do think this is a better version than your deck is right now, so I can't complain about that. I do like having Zappies as well as a card to just play in general. I don't wanted to play them with Royal Recruits, but hey, let's send it and let's see how it goes, eh? You got 2 games with your deck today, man. You got double the value. I didn't even say I was gonna play 1. We got it though. All right, so yeah, Lightning and Double Elixir is generally going to be better than in single. If you drop it in single, it's just going to cost too much, so it's not going to work out. If you're feeling like it's going to be a good play, maybe you can hit multiple things, and that would make sense. Honestly, if I can hit the Musketeer and that's fine. I'm going to let this go, and I'm going to get some nice trades. I could zap or Barbarrel. I'm going to choose to Barbarrel. Could have zapped. It's kind of a mid decision to Barbarrel there because it didn't go down fast enough, but it's fine. I could zap on this, and I don't know if I get a hit. I don't think so. Yeah, it was kind of bad. That's an oops. That was a mid gameplay decision. I'm saying oops on my end. Oh, he's the 21 player. Oh, damn. Wow. I did not expect him to be that good. So I'm going to focus a lot more because he is a 20-win player. We'll see if we can beat him. I don't know. Zappies are great on defense, and 9 times out of 10, if we're playing against Balloon, we definitely want to have anti-air responses. The Ram Rider, the Furnace, and the Zappies. I think we are playing against Balloon, so it's kind of important that I do that. Also, if you have Royal Ghost, you can drop it in the middle, and it'll go towards the building like that, and just go over, which is really, really nice. And you might think, why am I not all-inning? Because I don't need to. I can just play passive and slow roll P.E.K.K.A. and then have the Zappies for the Balloon. Or Skeleton Barrel, I guess. BD Balloon? I don't really know. Fine for us. I'm just going to go Bard Bro and make sure I don't waste anything. Miner doesn't matter, so just ignore the miner because it's a trash card. All right, so I'm going to go in for a lightning here. It's just too much for us to pass up on, even though the musketeer is going to die. It is very important that we hit a good lightning and a zap. See, I kept zap over log in this deck because the log, even though like you're like, wait, you swapped it for a barbell. The barbell is nice for that nice distraction on the ground because the cost of our cards are pretty high. I'm gonna do this. Hey, this is fine. I don't love the Zappies, but if I go P.E.K.K.A, maybe we can do stuff. Kind of optimistic, to be honest. That was bad gameplay on my end. I definitely overcommitted quite a bit. I'm not going to overcommit as much anymore. I'm just going to go Furnace on the left side because that's the side he's going on. And I can maybe even eat the Musketeer with a Barbarial, potentially. Ram Rider here, too. Royal Ghost is probably going to be a little bit better. I feel like I had drop delay for whatever reason. It just didn't go. What is this deck, dude? This is so confusing. All right, we're going to Lightning. Get that straight towards the tower. Yeah, he wasn't ready for that. He didn't expect me to do that. He's like, wait, why would you Lightning on a 1 HP thing? Well, you get all that damage it's worth. Do you not have Balloon? So confused. A Skeleton Barrel. So weird. Do this. A good game. I hope it's not a good game. I hope I can still win. I did fumble quite a bit. Minor Poison could cook me, though. I hope it doesn't. Oh my gosh, if I just hit a lightning, I win. Did I get it? Yo, guys. I don't know. Gonna be close. The Skeletons multiply, I actually lose. Damn, man. I hate that. That was close. I caught it, too. I mean, I have both 20 wins as well, bro. I have both of them. Good game. I wasn't BMing him. If he thought I was BMing him, I'm sorry. I was not actually BMing you, bro. I was not BMing you. But yeah, this deck is a lot better. I did lose against someone that was good. Unfortunately, the Evolved Skeleton somehow multiplied on my tower. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It is part of the game. But yeah, I do like Zappies. I don't think I love them against Evolved Skeletons because they don't fire fast enough to kill them. But in pretty much every single situation, I like them otherwise. All right, we're going to play one more game and then we're done. It's the last game of the day, guys. Devs must be on crack releasing this card. Yeah. Oh, wait. I didn't realize I got to go. I actually literally have to leave. Okay. I will finish this game and I'll leave right after, guys. What's the point of the balance? Just TV Royale once shows me a deck without Furnace. Yeah, Furnace has a 98% win rate or usage rate. Why does your skin look so great? I just, drink green tea. Make sure I, exercise and do the important things every day, bro. I don't eat too much sugar, but I have been having sugar with boba. So I don't know. It is what it is. Anyway, I do think this is one of the better decks. Minions also, we didn't get to test, unfortunately. But they do have a longer range. And in reality, I don't think that minions are really that viable right now because of Furnace. So you kind of have to be a dum-dum to be like, I'm going to test minions. And then, see that they literally do nothing in this meta. So I wasn't extremely excited to do that. I thought about it, and then I had a thumbnail made. And then I was like, wait. Not many people are going to be playing minions, or minions are not that viable. Oh, wait, we got them. Oh, we get to test minions. Oh, my God. Guys, we get to test minions. Not really. We just killed them. Yo. Wait, was that troll or what? Guys, tell me that wasn't troll level over 2,000. That was hilarious. Guys, we saw minions. We saw minions for a second. We saw minions. We saw minions in half. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Dick, I know you hate politics. What's the reason? I'm genuinely asking. So I don't actually hate politics. If you are political and you do whatever you want politically, that's good. I actually think it is important to be politically involved if you have a good opinion or valid takes. as a YouTuber and a gamer that doesn't necessarily have the best takes because he's not as educated in politics, I'm not going to sprout bad misinformation and give you guys views that are bad. So for me, I think my politics, my viewpoints are uneducated, so I'm not going to go and sprout that to 750,000 followers. I think that's vastly like the overwhelming population of YouTubers that do that. It's bad. I'm going to let the minions touch. So as you guys can see, the minions can actually range from quite a distance. It might not seem that big of a deal, but it is. I do think that minions got a huge buff. It's just not really impactful right now because Furnace is overpowered. If you guys remember what happened with P.E.K.K.A, P.E.K.K.A got a range buff. And when P.E.K.K.A got a range buff, what happened is you couldn't push it off of the tower. So if I had a P.E.K.K.A on my tower right there, what would happen is I would try to defend it. And I would be like, oh, I can defend the P.E.K.K.A with a unit and push the P.E.K.K.A off the tower. But if I push the P.E.K.K.A off of the tower and I tried to, like that Hog Rider, like knocking it back a little bit, the P.E.K.K.A's range was so long that you couldn't push it off. The P.E.K.K.A would stay locked onto the tower and you'd lose the game. Now, because P.E.K.K.A got a nerf back to its range, you can push the P.E.K.K.A off of your tower with like a knight, and then the P.E.K.K.A won't take your tower out and you can still win the game. So that's the main difference that happened. I think that, you know, it's a Clash Royale experience. A lot of times they nerf and buff cards a little bit crazily. And minions now will not, it's not like they'll get pushed off the tower or anything, but it will change a lot of interactions in a small, minuscule way. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the stream where I break down all the balance changes, leave a like on the video, subscribe for more content, and check out the pinned comment if you want to see more Clash Royale gameplay on a lot of the new decks that I've been showcasing. Clash Royale has been very fun for me recently, and I just want to create more content as much as I possibly can. If you want to see a deck with Evolved Snowball and Goblin Drill, even though Evolved Snowball got a nerf, the deck is still very strong. It was played by the rank 1 and 2 player in the world. Everyone last season was playing it, and Snowball is still viable. A lot of the other cards are still good. It wasn't running Dagger Duchess or Cannoneer, so the deck still worked in every single situation. Check that out in the pinned comment. Literally, the rank 1 and 2 player in the world were playing it, and it's stupidly overpowered. Snowball still, its core mechanic was not changed. So I'll see you guys later, no matter when or where you're watching. I hope you have an awesome one. The pinned comment will have that evolved.